Welcome to The People's View, a program dedicated to discussing local, state, and national issues and their effect on the American people. The People's View provides a platform for state representatives and national figures to present their viewpoint. Whether it's social, economic, or financial topics, you'll hear it on The People's View.
Hello and welcome to The People's View. This is Carl Seidel with co-host Pete Silva and with our guest Molly Sanborn, who is chair of the Young Republicans in New Hampshire. Don't forget, this show is sponsored by the Nashua Republican City Committee, and you can go to our website, nashuagop.org, to see our programs, and we meet on the second Thursday of every month at the Crown Plaza. Please come and hear our speakers and find out more about the Republican organization in Nashua. Well, Molly, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You're our new chair of the Young Republicans. How does that feel?
Oh, it's been great.
Has
I'm
it?
Thrilled.
For about how many weeks?
Not even a month.
Not even a month yet.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Well, tell us something about the organization. How is it formed? Where do you meet?
Sure. So it's a group of fiscally conservative young Republicans between the ages of 18 and 40 who want to get involved in politics, want to learn about the political process, also want to meet other young Republicans and like-minded young adults and get together. We do both networking events, social events, as well as getting involved in the political process, so helping out with campaigns and helping people run their own campaigns and getting involved in their communities.
Well, I imagine you were pretty busy at the last campaign and everything, and getting out the vote and all that sort of stuff. Do you get involved in some of the local campaigns at all?
Absolutely. Yep. The local campaigns are so important, from the bottom up, from school boards to state rep to state Senate seats. It's so important to have young people involved in the campaigns, learning the process, out there knocking on doors and making phone calls. It's a lot of what we do. We like to stay busy.
Have you seen any, is it starting to grow again? Are you getting a lot more inquiries to become part of it? Are people upset with what's going on? And
Sure. I think people are frustrated and they're ready. No doubt we had a tough election in 2012, and I think people are motivated. Young professionals, kids that are graduating from college this year, the unemployment rate is 18% for college grads, and it's frustrating when you have a college degree and you want to get out there and start making and earning a living, and there are no jobs. So people want to get involved and make sure that we get people elected to office that are going to create a strong business environment in New Hampshire and in the country.
And even if they do get a job, they're not sure about their health care anymore.
Sure. Yeah, it's scary. Even if they have health care with a job, the costs are astronomical, and it impacts the rest of their quality of life. All of their expenses are impacted.
Sure.
So it's scary.
College loans as well as all this,
Yeah.
so what do you guys do? If I wish I was still in that demographic. Unfortunately, I'm not.
Not
But
really.
if I was to get involved, do you have meetings? Are they set up or so if someone out there is listening and they're 25 years old and they want to get involved with the Young Republicans, what would they not be expected to do? But what are some of the things they might get involved in?
Sure. So I'd encourage anybody that wants to get involved to go to our website at nhyr.com, or to visit our Facebook page. You can like us on Facebook, New Hampshire Young Republicans, and we're constantly updating that with events that are coming up. We'll be involved in a special election coming up in early June, so if they want to get involved with learning the political process and the grassroots, so doing phone bank or going door to door on a Saturday, we'll have opportunities for that. We're also planning some networking events. We're hoping to have one in Manchester in June. So kind of an after work type thing where we'll just get together, and just kind of talk about politics, talk about what's going on in New Hampshire and what we can do to make sure that we're getting people involved in the next election cycle.
Well, how did you get involved in politics? You were a representative last session, and now you're a mother with a young child, and you're still active.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm thrilled that I have this opportunity that I can stay involved. I work full-time. I'm a new mom, and I was a state representative for 2 years, which was great. That was really my first foray into politics, was running for state rep from Hooksett. And I enjoyed it. I really did. I guess I got involved just because I was concerned, same type of thing. I was in my 20s, and I just wanted to make a difference. And my husband and I actually met through the Young Republicans, and we were talking about starting a family, and I was just sick of just talking about what was wrong all the time and what I was frustrated about. And I finally said, well, why don't I do something? And so I just decided to run for state rep, and I ran, and we ran a pretty strong campaign. I only knew 4 people in town before I ran. So that's something that, you know, if somebody wants to get involved and they're worried about not knowing a lot of people in their town, that's something that young Republicans can help with. We can help with, you know, organizing events so that you can meet people and, you know, learning about going out and going to community events and introducing yourself to people and talking about why you want to run and what's important, what your platform is.
Hooksett it seems like it leans toward the right anyways.
It does.
But just in your demographic, are you seeing more people that are starting to finally wake up and realize that, you know, it's not all about give. Every now and again, you got to give something yourself?
Sure, absolutely. I have. I've seen, you know, just since I've been elected as chair in the last few weeks, I've had so many people calling, asking what they can do. You know, can I start a blog to help and get the word out? Can I help, you know, with the website, or help out with this next special election that we have coming up? And what can I do? And I think we're going to have some great events and great turnout. And I think that we'll be able to mobilize a lot of young Republicans over the next few years to really help just get more Republicans elected to the State House, the State Senate, the White House, hopefully. Let's
That's good.
really make a change.
Well, it's your enthusiasm, your stamina that really adds a lot to the election. I don't know if people have told you that or not, but you had a lot of excitement to it, you know, and I think that's good. That's good. We got to get more people involved. They don't realize that as a young Republican, or as a young person, I should say, your future is in the hands of the government.
Absolutely.
And right now it doesn't look very favorable.
Right, and our children's future. It's not fair for us to just sit by and not do anything and not act today and have our children and our grandchildren pay the price tomorrow. So we need to stand up and not just talk the talk, but really walk the walk and do something about it and make a difference.
Well, I think there's a lot of it that, you know, I just have 3 of my kids are like fairly recent out of college, but just the experiences they had. 2 went to UNH, and the way the whole thing leans liberally. So when you're trained or indoctrinated, I should say, in my opinion, at college, then my oldest son went to even worse. As a matter of fact, this Saturday, Kelly Add's going to do the commencement speech at NEC. And you want to talk about a liberal bastion, and there's only about 1,100 kids there. But my son was really afraid to, he went out of his way not to mention who I was, because if you remember last time, and he just graduated, it'd be a year ago in May. So, I mean, how do they get away with things like that? And I would think, so that makes him more agitated. He just wanted to get through school.
Yeah.
But he's no question which way he leans when it comes to voting. But I would think more people would see through that. You know, after a while, like, look, this is not right here. We're getting one side of the story, and it's for a reason. But it seems like they don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I think that college students are challenged when they are more conservative in their values. That I think that just the environment that there is in the college community, it's harder for them to be vocal about where they stand politically. And one of the things that the young Republicans really want to do, one of our main focuses over over my term, the next 2 years, is to work with the college Republicans as closely as we can and really try to grow their organizations and make sure that their voices are heard and that people feel comfortable getting involved at the college level and getting involved early.
Have you started anything with them? Is there any joint meetings being held or what?
We, quite a few college Republicans attended our annual meeting
Oh.
in April, and then we attended their annual meeting just the following week. So we've started just meeting with each other, and we're hoping to do, we've been talking about maybe a wiffle ball tournament or something to have the college Republicans and the young Republicans just get together a little bit more.
Are you finding any more people, young people your age, that are turning to this because they're realizing that there's a real problem fiscally, otherwise, socially, with what's happening?
Sure, you know, you bring up an interesting point because I think that socially, people are kind of torn. There are some people that are socially more conservative, and some people that are socially more kind of middle ground. But that really, it's the economy right now that people are talking about, and that's really what we want to focus on over the next few years. That we need to work on building our party, which focuses on a limited government and can really, you know, start to look at balancing a budget and creating an atmosphere where businesses can create new jobs and young people can stay in New Hampshire and have a solid career and raise their families here. So that's what we really have found, that people are just rallying behind that we want to talk about the economy and jobs and what we can do to help elect people that are going to help New Hampshire's economy.
Good. I don't know if you've heard about Fred Coker's plan to get companies together with education and trying to meld them so that there's a tie-in, that there seems to be the future for the people that are going to local colleges.
Yes, I have, and I believe that it's an intern component to it, which is so important. I mean, my career started by being an intern, and I actually managed the interns at my full-time job, which is at Easter Seals, New Hampshire, and I manage our intern program. And it's so important to get that experience. And so if you are somebody that is looking to get involved in politics, if you're a political science major, you know, there aren't a lot of jobs out there for political science majors, but it's such a great thing to be involved in. And if there are companies out there that are looking for people with that type of background, and there are young, energetic people in college that are looking for a great experience, I think internships are just amazing opportunities.
Do they give you feedback to, like we're hearing this thing, the latest thing is the whole image thing, you know, how you got to change your image and you got to, you know, to appeal to the younger people. When they come in and get involved, do they say that to you? Is that?
It's something we definitely talk about. You know, Executive Counselor Chris Sununu, who is also a young Republican, made a great speech at our college Republican annual meeting about how this is all a marketing issue and that we need to focus on what our brand is and rebranding the Republican Party so that we have the right message and that we aren't just the party about, you know, we're not anti-abortion and anti-thing. We want to be positive, and we want to bring in young people who have positive, you know, focus on the future.
Well, you've heard of some of these things that have just been happening in the last week or so with the government really intruding in personal lives and everything. And is there a reaction to that? I mean, that's big government again. It's sort of typical of some of those people that were organizing on the other side of the aisle. They were signing up people without bothering to make sure they qualified, you know, to vote. So these are things that I don't know, would upset me if I heard about. But when I was a young Republican, they didn't have those shenanigans going on. At least it wasn't ever made public.
Right, you didn't hear about it. No, It's definitely scary, and there's certainly a lot of issues for us to be motivated by and to rally around and to say that we just, have to make a change, and that we can't just sit around and talk about what we'd like to change, that we have to actually get together, see what we can do, rally behind other young Republicans who are running for office, raise money for their campaigns, go door to door for them, help them get elected, and help, just make an overall difference.
Have you helped in trying to find candidates? Do you have any young Republicans that are going to run? Because we had a lot running in the 2010 election that we got into.
We do, yeah, absolutely. That's definitely something that will be a major focus, that we want to get people running for school boards and for state rep. I was at the State House yesterday with my 6-month-old daughter. I brought her and showed her where I used to sit, and I would love to run again, and I'd love to get other people that, are just ready to make a difference and want to get involved, and I'd love to have more young Republicans running for office.
Well, that'd be nice. We'd certainly like to have you there. You're going to have to, I don't know whether we're going to run again, but it certainly was interesting out there. I think you found out on your committee and everything.
Yep, absolutely. There's definitely so much that you can do to make a difference, and it's so important. So, and it's possible. I mean, trust me, like I said, I didn't know very many people when I first decided to run, and you don't need to be somebody that's lived in the town for your whole life and knows everybody there. And we had an open seat the term that I ran, but I was running against somebody who had run quite a few times. And I just got out there with a positive message and said that I wanted to make a difference and get involved. And I went door to door as much as I could and met as many people as I could. And,
so that's
it's just what you have to do. Absolutely. And the young Republicans will help any candidate that wants to do that.
Well, I think we accomplished something that year, too. If you look at our budget and how nice it came out, you can't have, and there's a number of things now. I understand that the business ranking of New Hampshire is the highest in New England because of some of the things we did for businesses.
Yep.
And so
and we had a responsible budget, not a budget that was based on a casino that isn't going to happen. So it was
there's a lot of other things too. We're not taking marked funds and stuff like that. We've got some things that hasn't been used for a while, so why not put it in here?
Yeah.
See, the thing is, when we talk about imaging, though, that's the thing. I always go through this. Most people, especially I would think the young Republicans, that's what I'm asking you, they only see flash. If something is, it seems like it's more on the social issues that they pay attention to. That's what they see. They don't, the budget, when you talk of $1 billion here or $1 million there, it's incomprehensible. They don't. It doesn't make any sense. So my concern always has been is how do we let them realize that that is important, but more importantly, we need to attract them. I mean, if you could really get someone to sit down and listen and just state the facts, how could you ever be a Democrat? I really, other than if you're a union member or you're in some radical, agenda that you have. Logically, if you have a family, if you pay taxes, why would you want to be a Democrat?
And to your point, if you're graduating from college and, only one out of, or, so few of you, your friends, are getting jobs out of school and you're struggling to find work, maybe you're able to piece together something that's 2 part-time jobs, but it doesn't include your health insurance. I think that is what we're going to be able to capture young people when they're struggling to find work. Now they've gone through all of these 4 hard years to get their degree, to graduate, to make their families proud, to launch their careers, and the jobs just aren't there. Well, then they're going to realize, well, where's the hope and change? I thought Obama was going to make all of these changes and everything was going to be wonderful and I was going to have this dream job when I graduated, and those dream jobs just aren't there. So I think people are waking up now and saying, well, I may have voted for the wrong person a few years ago, and maybe we need to get involved and see what we can do to make a change so that that there's less government in our lives and our economy is more open to innovation and technology, and that we can create more jobs so that people can start moving on with their lives after graduation and starting a family and buying a house. It's so hard for young people right now that, even if they do get a job after graduation, their health insurance premiums are so high, car payments, their student loans are astronomical. And how do you start a family when you have that type of debt and those types of expenses on your back? It's scary.
Well, I hope you get a lot more members that have the enthusiasm you have, because I'm sure we'll all be successful with that kind of approach. And working with the College Young Republicans is wonderful. That's one of the things we all have to do, is we all have to pull together, and then we can win.
Absolutely. Yep, as a party. We have to stop, can't fight as a party, and everybody needs to just get together and just work together to really make a difference. And I think that our voices will be heard, and we have a lot of work to do.
It's New Hampshire YoungRepublicans.org?
NHYR.com. Yep.
Okay. And that's how to get a hold of you and how to join, find out what you're doing.
Yep, that's the best place to just check in, see what we're up to,
Good.
come to one of our events.
Good.
Email us if there's something on the website that you don't see and you have a question. Send us an email and we'll get back to you. And we'd love to have an event coming up in Nashua sometime and get some young Republicans involved at Nashua.
That would be good.
That would be great. We'd love that.
Love to work together with you.
Great.
And thank you for
Thanks,
listening
Molly.
in to us. And don't forget that the Nashua Republican Organization sponsors the show. And go to NashuaGOP.org to find out what our agenda is and where our next meeting is. Thank you very much for listening in.